So it's tea time on day one of the first test between India and England. I think it's safe to say visitors will be pretty pleased with where they are, albeit maybe not having lost so many wickets. But and I think a credit to them because they lost a couple of wickets early on. In the start of the second session, you had Bairstow and Root depart in very quick succession. Then there were a couple more blows. You had a Stokes get out early, but after that, I think the rebuild job that was done by Stokes, and it was the debutant Tom Hartley, who actually looked pretty composed for those 23-24 balls that he played. Thereafter, I think now they've gotten past 200. Shackles are coming loose just a little bit. I think England will be pretty happy with where they are at this point.
Actually, when this session started, I thought you would have been doing a show much before tea time with England all out. It was a pretty good chance of that happening with the way the Indian spinners started, especially that partnership which was looking dangerous. We discussed that during lunchtime. That was happening between Bairstow and Root, both of them looking kind of comfortable, but then falling in quick succession at that time. Then Stokes, the other one that you thought might just get some runs here, was out, and as soon as those 3 wickets fell, I thought now very soon we're going to be having a show. But guess what? England have gone for tea time with still 2 wickets in hand, and one of them happens to be their skipper in Ben Stokes, who also is right now the highest run getter of this innings, if I'm not mistaken, already.
43, yes, he is.
Highest run getter of this innings so far, looking good for a 50 and a strike rate of 63. So you're right, I think I agree with Shane, because even before this test match started, when we had a look at the pitch, I think we had said 200 would be a happy place to be if you win the toss and bat first. England already 215, God knows how many more they get from here if they continue attacking. But 250 seems quite realistic. It's not even like, you're asking for the moon. Yeah, 250, very good position, pressure on India from there on.
Yeah, I mean, look at the lower order. I mean, there are 2 common trends. One, England's lower order have stepped up in the past. I mean, you look at even outside of England, they have stepped up. Especially, if you look at the Ashes also in England, it was a lower order that ensured that you at least got a winning chance in Leeds, which they capitalized on. Second, India's inability to run through the lower order. That is a big concern now. Because you've got all the spinners at your arsenal, you've got all your best pacers in your arsenal, but you just can't seem to run through the tail. Look at it, 160 for 7, your number 8 and 9 together have contributed about 54 runs. 161 for 7, now 215 for 8. And if Mark Wood goes after a quick 10-15 runs, and then you have Leach. Remember, when Leach is there at the crease, Ben Stokes has a different persona altogether.
Partners in crime.
You could already see Stokes was reverse sweeping. He was playing like a right-hander most of the times. When Leach is there, Stokes will just go hell for leather.
No, I think baseball has definitely been working in India. So far, so good. They are much ahead in this. I think, again, the point is that you cannot win a test match in a session, but you definitely can lose a test match in a session. 2 sessions straight up, they have won 2 sessions, just 1 session to go. At the end of the test match, the team that wins is the one who has won more sessions overall. So England has definitely now, again, after a very long time, I feel that India will have to come out and score some runs in Indian conditions. BGT I remember, but again their runs were not these many. I think 130 for something was sort of when Akshar Patel and Ashwin's partnership came about. Now here again, lot of pressure on Indian batsmen who haven't performed in India or abroad overseas since a long time now. So a lot of pressure would be there. Again, you don't have a Virat Kohli.
I'd like to know it's very interesting that all of us are pointing this out, but I'm just trying to think back again, where a test match in India batting first, 215 for 8, you'd often say that the bowling team's got the upper hand. I want to know, at 215 for 8, are we accurate, or do we need to? They often say that don't judge a pitch till both sides have batted, and I'd just like to know everyone's thoughts. That are we basing our judgment based on what we've seen the last 3 years in India, the kind of pitches that you get in India and the scores that we've been getting in the last 3 years? Is that what is prompting us to come up with this, or our assessment is got no baggage, but it's well and truly based on what we are seeing of the 60 odd overs, that 59 overs that we've seen so far? Is it based on just the 59 overs, looking at how the ball is behaving, or is it based on what we think of the pitch before the match started, when we took a closer look at the dryness of the pitch and the kind of pitches that we've been getting in India?
I am personally basing it on only what I've seen in this test match so far, because again,
because you gave the BGT example.
Yeah, no, I think it's after I was giving that example for that, after a very long time, India will have to score runs in home. That was just an example for that. But again, I feel the balls which the Indian spinners have bowled without any full at the full length, and they have not like tried to pull it back a little bit, trying to contain runs. There they have gotten the success, and that is very clearly visible. Like again, this ball from Akshar Patel that stayed straight. So they have gotten the success when they have stuck to the plan that they usually do. But again, they were a little defensive because of the pace at which the England batters were scoring, so that's why they had to pull their lengths a little bit back. But again, the wicket is turning the way it was expected to, and I think it's going to be the same for India as well. And it's going to be a very big task for India to actually.
So you're basing it on this test?
Yeah.
I am basing it on both. I mean, there is a bit of a both in the past excess baggage that we may have, and also on the sea. Why do we have to say in the past what used to happen is the spinners on a placid deck would have the skill to bowl an opposition out for 215 or 230. The pitch would then become easier to bat on day 2 and day 3. And then day 4 and 5 it would crumble. But in the last 3 years, post-COVID, we have seen that the pitches in India are rank turners. It only becomes difficult to bat on as the game progresses. So 215 for 8, we don't know if they go past 250. Then the cat is really amongst the pitches.
No, but even now you're of the opinion, right, that both sessions have gone to England. And because all of us mentioned it, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's funny because is our judgment clouded by what we have seen in Indian conditions? Because typically this wouldn't have been the situation. 215 for 8, you're like the bowling team's on top. That's what I want to know. Is it based on what you've seen in this test match, or is it clouded by what you've seen?
Both, 100%. Because again, you've seen test matches end with one team not even getting 100 on occasion. In fact, England were one of those unfortunate teams that are getting, bundled out by, of all things, Akshar Patel's straight ball. So you know that, these pitches are going to have that juice. And keeping that in mind, yes, this is a good position, but also looking at this match, some of those balls were absolute beauties which no one could have done anything about. A Bairstow, that ball, I can't fault anything technically which he did. There's nothing wrong he did, just the ball was unplayable. Similar, I think, to an extent with Hartley, correct? The ball was at the length for him to go for the shot, so he went for the shot. What outdid him? More turn than he was expecting. So again, I'm not faulting the approach, saying it's a very good ball. So that's one case where the bowler clearly wins out, and those weren't the only ones. Even someone like Stokes, it was a pretty decent ball he was straddling at. Of course, you can question his technique there a little bit as well, but overall, the bowler forced him into that sort of a situation. So I think it's a good pitch for spinners, and the fact that they've got these many runs, it's a concern.
So maybe then it is the England approach, and again, I think you need to give credit to Ben Stokes. I think that's been that game-changing inning right now, because if he had gotten out early, the difference, as we're saying, just about 200 vis-a-vis 250 plus is going to be massive on this pitch. It could have been just about 200 had you got Ben Stokes early. Because of his 43, now you're looking at 250 plus, which is a big difference. But then the approach, where he's batting at almost 70 strike rate, which I'll consider as baseball, started a bit carefully. Those switch hits that he's been hitting off Jadeja, I think it deserves a separate fan base. Absolutely outstanding. I think those have been the wow shots or the highlights. Even though we've seen some good deliveries at the moment, we talk about Akshar Patel's to Bairstow, I think that's a highlight. But if you ask me to pick one wow moment, it'll be a combination of at least 3 switch hits that I remember that he hit off Jadeja. Absolutely nailed them. And with the ease and comfort and confidence that he played with, absolutely brilliant. So in that sense, maybe we spoke about how there's going to be a clash of philosophies, whether baseball works or does not work. At the moment, what England is showing, and I think it's interesting we discussed that, there wouldn't be a bad idea. Before this test match started, it wouldn't be a bad idea for England to play like this, because if you were to play vertical strokes here, there's a good chance you get beaten by the turn. So horizontal bat shots would be the right way, because you can rather trust the bounce here than the turn. So you trust the bounce, play a lot of, earlier it would be sweep shots, but now you're having switch hits. Joe Root also did it, though that was also his undoing in terms of he could have been very well out initially, but then also got out to that. But I think horizontal bat shots are kind of working, giving an idea. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if you see India also have a similar strategy. And I'll tell you why. Because we just saw a test match in South Africa, where when you were going to bat fourth, last, you knew it was a tough pitch and it could be any ball that gets you out. So what did India do? Again, we thought two ways, not a big total to chase in the fourth innings. What should India do? Just attack, or because it's a small total, just defend? They went attacking. So what that tells me that recently India has also been thinking on those lines, that on pitches, and if this pitch is indeed that, as I said, we'll have to wait and watch till the time both teams bat. But if the pitch is indeed as we think it is, then India, because they showed it in South Africa, tough conditions, attack. Won't be surprised. Also with Rohit Sharma, we've seen this in his captaincy. He's not averse to taking this call that, okay, let's attack, go for it. And added by the third factor, added by when he's going to be seeing England bat and get some purchase or success out of that. Won't be surprised if India does it. If that happens, that will be very interesting. Then it won't be a clash of philosophies.
I mean, we have seen in all these kind of difficult pitches, like for example Indore, who played a very attacking knock. The one who attacks, 90% of it, sometimes it seems to work. Travis Head attacked in Indore. You looked at even South Africa, the Cape Town test, even Markram's 100 on a very difficult wicket. I think it was dubbed as one of the best 100s that he's ever scored.
Yeah.
And you look at even in the past, Centurion 2018 on a difficult wicket, who stood out? Virat Kohli's 150. He attacked. Whoever is attacking, look at Stokes. Why does he get that much of success? That one switch hit that he hit of Jadeja, I mean, if the ground was any smaller, how did he hit Nathan Lyon for that switch hit 6 at Leeds 2019? Whenever teams have attacked on difficult wickets, what England are doing is, see, you may say, oh, batting with the tail, let me be conservative. But with the tail, with this basketball England team, they seem to raise their gear up. If it fails, okay, but he at least tried. Stokes, I mean, if you look at it, and Wood is also capable, right? He's got a 50. And also he hit those crucial runs in the Ashes. So you've seen with this current trend, whoever attacks on difficult wickets, it pays off. Head is proof, Stokes is proof, Markram is proof, Kohli is proof. Rohit also, Ahmedabad, that sandpit, 62. India won that test.
The 100 which he got in Chennai.
But in South Africa, the majority of the scoring that aggressively that was done by Virat. And he is not here. That is something that is again going to be a little concern. And secondly, I want to ask that, don't you think that India did not have a counter plan for this sort of an approach?
But if you remember South Africa, even Yashasvi came out firing.
It's not, see, with this approach, the only problem is that it's again, it might work and it might not work. Same for England on this case. It would have been possible that they would have been all out for 100. Quite possible. It's the same that now the only difference here is that with them they have a much larger sample size. They have done it again and again and again. With India, that has not really happened.
No, the problem is there is one word that separates both the teams, England and India, when it comes to aggression: sustainability. England sustain their aggression. India, they start off like that, but then they are not able to sustain it. Yashasvi in South Africa, he was going for it, but then he was one ball away from getting an edge or getting out.
But then
I'm not judging
everyone
on those, especially because those wickets were really tough.
Then here also you will not be.
I'm not. That's why those 20 runs from a Hartley are gold dust.
But
they definitely are.
But I'm saying the other big difference, if I'm India, I wouldn't mind being aggressive, because there's also a massive difference in terms of the bowling attack that's on offer. Jadeja and co have been born and brought up on such surfaces, so know exactly what to do. You may still take out a mistake or two that they've done, but inherently they're pretty much more capable. For these guys, it's going to be a first time experience. Just as sometimes Indian fast bowlers take time to get used to lengths to bowl in England and Australia. Even if the England spinners are talented enough or are rated enough as they are, may still take some time to get used to it. And if I'm India, what do I want to do with a young bowling attack? Put them under pressure.
Exactly.
So it serves me both ways to have this kind of an approach, even to attack their inexperience, just ruffle them a bit. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, and just following what Rohit Sharma has been doing, whether in different formats, in terms of his captaincy approach. All I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised that that's exactly the kind of thought that India might also have. Had you asked me this about a year ago, same situation, I would have said no way. India will play their way. They wouldn't care how England is. But now there are a few indicators which are telling me it is a possibility. If they don't, also is a possibility. But I'm saying there is a possibility, which a year ago I would have said zero chance. Now I'm saying there's a 50-50 chance India go both ways.
I mean, look at the aggression factor. Okay, you remember the very first innings of baseball. Stokes, first ball, launches Trent Bolt straight to long off. We all panned that, oh, he's been reckless, he's been doing all that. But next innings, he hit, I think, 100, or I think he hit a quick fire 50. So, if you look at the aggressive factor, with India, it's more on the razor's edge. Rohit follows that, but remember, it's the same Rohit who charged down to Kunaman in Indore. But he got beaten by return.
I don't blame him.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
You have to do that, but remember, the risks will be much more. Because,
Exactly.
But remember, the risks will be much more even when you're batting first, batting second, or batting third or fourth also.
But then you're putting the test match online.
You have to.
You are then. So basically, after them scoring these many runs, somewhat or the other, you are not on the driver's seat of this test match.
You can't be right now. You know why? Because if England even get to 250 plus,
Yeah.
then bundle you out cheaply. And I have again constantly pointed out that India always struggle with new spinners.
Exactly.
Then you're doomed because you have to bat in the fourth innings.
And the way they have actually batted, I would not be raising questions on their preparation for this tour. And the same way, that's why I know the spinners are young, very young, inexperienced. But again, firstly, what I feel is Ashwin, Jadeja haven't had the best days that they might have had.
Ash hasn't, but I think Jaddu
No,
has.
even I think
Jaddu
even
pulled things back in the second session. First session he was a little
as far as the mindset with which the bowlers have bowled, I don't think that they've had the best day on the field today. But the same could be go their way also. But again, I don't know. I have not seen those spinners. That's why I cannot totally say that.
Because if you look at it, everybody was targeting Jaddu. You look at the lens, Bairstow was willing to play him on the back foot, run him down to third.
That's when he has got the wickets also, but he's gone for runs also.
But with Ash at the start, they were willing to play him out because he knew he was accurate.
The only one who tried attacking him was Hartley when he got that six off him.
Yes.
Otherwise, even if you look at everything that Stokes has done, all those reverse switch hits which he was doing were all to Jadeja. Even that one time he went down the ground was to Jadeja. Because he knew. And he was trying to actually force them to do something different. Because what they were doing is they were packing the leg side field. So the leg side, the deep, you had three guys, but you had no one on the offside. So what's he doing? Switching and forcing them to try and make some sort of change. Smart.
Correct.
But for all you know, I mean, we may be over analyzing. India might just say, forget it, doesn't matter. This is our territory, our place. We're not going to change anything. We've beaten every team for the last decade here, no matter what the conditions are. So let's play our game, let them play their game. We've, let's say, conceded 250. Let's go out. There's a possibility we get 300.
Correct.
You won't write them off with their own old school approach also. We don't know. Maybe that won't be a bad idea, at least for the first innings. Why change something that's not broken?
Exactly.
Maybe first innings you go with your way. If you have reached a situation where you're in a helpless position, then in your last innings you go, bang, bang, bang. Is another thing. But
Yeah.
It was very close, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was, and it popped off the keeper, and I think Rohit was.
He noticed it later.
I just hope he's fit
he's-
enough to bat.
Yeah.
Because he's very important right now.
He is the key. On these kind of difficult wickets, you would want Rohit.
I think
to be-
he and Shubman Gill.
I have
Oh, yeah.
picked Yashashvi.
Yes.
No, but too far.
Too far.
No,
Couldn't have
No,
done
he
it
not
was the
his fault.
keeper's catch.
Oh, keeper's catch.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But again, those are the
No,
ones that
not his
stick.
catch, yeah.
it. It either sticks or it doesn't.
Yeah, because there's no way you're judging that.
No,
Right?
it took a
But he's a
single.
specialist keeper, you play him on the basis of his keeper.
Come on.
You're
You're
being
the
a little
best
harsh,
of keepers, yeah. Best of keepers.
I mean, he got it
I would
right
have gone with
last
Jorel,
minute of
you
the
know.
glove. He almost took it out of the glove.
Mean that he would
But I'm pretty sure you're going to see Jorel in this series.
that we don't.
If Bharat doesn't have a good time with the bat
First
in the first
two
two
tests.
tests,
Don't
then
be
you'll
sure.
see Jurel.
Don't be 100%.
I think so. Like, I have a feeling that it could be Jorel that who would.
Wood,
make
by
it
the way,
out.
is taking a very interesting approach because he's playing out those flight ones. But whenever Ashwin's gone flat, like there was one where Ashwin went flat in a little while, he thumped him. So I don't know.
Yeah, baseball all throughout.
Yeah.
1 to 11.
Yep.
And
Can't
Wood, to be
change.
fair, is a very underrated bat.
And I think even Shreyas Iyer would be the key.
And but he found the fielder.
See,
luckily.
now he's going that line I was saying, go a bit out, let them drive, let them drive.
Yeah.
Let them go for it because they are going to attack, right?
Oh, Ash could have had him for the 13th time.
13th time.
It'll go down as a drop, but very
No,
tough
this
chance.
wasn't. Oh, yeah.
It was tough.
It
Very,
was a
very.
very tough catch.
Are we really checking Ultra Edge for this?
Oh, that's a
See,
big.
that's a proper spike.
Yes.
Those earlier ones were like,
I know.
useless.
Really.
Okay,
Gone around.
okay, our predictions have been going horribly wrong
Oh, not
today.
true. I said 210 they'll be in the second session.
And
They
you
were
said it for
215.
8 only, right?
I said it for about 7, so they were 8. Close. First 2 sessions.
So, not all of us, Shane, go for it.
Oh, this is tough. But I think you'll see India start batting
Of course.
and England will fold for about 250.
India has to bat. I mean, if India don't bat in this session,
Then you're really. Oh, yeah.
that
And he's found
He's got
the gap.
Yeah.
And it's gone for 4.
yeah. So you what's your score prediction?
250 all out and India bat.
Yeah, I mean
245 all out. And
260 all out.
I'll go 238 all out.
okay.
Tripti Dimri 260.
260
all out.
all out. You made 260. no,
I
Shane?
made
You made
260.
I
260.
said 250. You said 260.
Okay.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Nandri, see you soon.
End of the day, that's going to be a long show where we'll take all your
Discussion.
questions, but
Yep.
not now. This is a very short break, tea time.
Yep.
Enjoy your lunch because usually nobody.
Has tea there.
Yeah, tea will be, I think, post match, and we'll
Yeah.
be doing. But the one good, I'm going to make one prediction. That's going to be 100% true. That the game will wind up at 4:30. The
Yes.
scheduled closer play. You will not have that extra half an hour.
Not a
That's
chance.
one prediction I'm making.
But we'll meet in the mid innings also, right?
yeah.
First innings. Huh?
First
Yeah,
innings.
First innings, yeah, that mid innings.
Bye.
Bye bye.